How's it going, one and all? Welcome to part number 7 of club number 5 of the MyCareer save here on Football Manager 2024. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where two big things we're hoping happen. Thing number 1, we win the Bundesliga. We still haven't won it, but it's not for a lack of trying. And thing number 2, we're hoping we get through to a Champions League final. Our third Champions League final in a row. Obviously won it last season, didn't win it the season before, but we're looking to do that and then hopefully go on to win our second Champions League in a row as well. So that is what we're looking to do today. Let's get to it. So since you were last with us, how have things been going? Very well. I don't actually think we've lost anything. We haven't dropped any points or anything like that since the last time we were with you, which was Napoli. 2-0, we got through, that was perfect. Beat Union Berlin 3-1, beat Stuttgart 2-0, smashed Schalke 7-0, beat Real Madrid. This was a tough one though. I mean, we were all over the match stat-wise, but they scored first, we equalised, they scored, we equalised, and then we got a winner, but like towards the end of the game where we were pushing for a fourth, Marc Bernal did get sent off, but it was late enough that Madrid didn't have enough time to do anything, and then we beat Frankfurt 4-2. Daniel Pitchford has been on fire until this game where he picked up a knock. And since then, he has scored once, but he's not been quite as good as he once was. Ansu Fati has scored a couple, though. Bernal, Sousa, Musiala, they've all been chipping in as well. Zabani there as well. So it's been nice to see a little bit of teamwork with that. We're also through to the DFB Pokal final against Borussia Mönchengladbach. So I'm in two minds as to whether I show you that. I don't know whether I will. We'll see how we go. But the first thing we've got to do is Real Madrid. We need to beat Real Madrid. We are leading, but it is at the Bernabeu. This is going to be a tough one, and we're without one of our top midfielders, so it is going to be a bit of a struggle. But this is the 11 that we're going to be using for this game. It is going to be Mamardashvili in goal, Tokic, Sabani, Lukeba and Medeiros in defence, Bayetic, Solomon, Sousa and Musiala in the midfield, with Pitchford and Fati starting up front. There's some decisions I've made in the starting 11 very deliberately. Decision number 1, we are starting Musiala as a midfielder rather than as a striker. Reason for that, number 1, Cole Palmer doesn't like big games. This is the biggest of big games. I'll bring him on if I need to, but I'm not risking Cole Palmer from the start. He wasn't very good in the first leg. I don't trust him away from home in the second leg. That feels like too much pressure. Also, we are still without Alex Zeev, but he is days away from being fit again, so he might be fit if we do get into a Champions League final, and he'll be relatively fresh. We are also missing Sopsic. He is injured. To be fair, Tokic has only just come back from an injury as well. It's just meant that we've had to kind of shake things up. So Bayetic has been in the last couple of games. He's not been spectacular, but he's not been terrible. Malin Roll has been pretty good. There is a temptation for me to start him, but then it's working out what to do with Musiala. Do we start him maybe as a try? Do you know what? It's a late change, but Roller's played, I mean, look at his consistency in the last few games. He's done pretty well. I think he's earned a start, to be honest with you. So we are going to start him, and Pitchford is going to have Musiala as a partner. Musiala did okay in his last game, where if we have a look at the form, plays a deep line forward. He's been a bit of a tricky one to try and get the best out of. I think attacking midfield is going to be his position next season, just so we can get all of our best players into the starting 11. But yeah, we need to have a think about that. If we are indeed here, we'll talk more about that during the game. But that is the 11 that I'm going to be going for. I'm just going to make sure, yeah, we are on distributed centre-backs. That's fine. They're only playing with one striker, so that's perfect. So let's get into the game and let's see whether we can get into that Champions League final. And if you're excited to see whether we can do that, don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. It is completely free to do so, and you'll make me very happy. What's not to love about that? So let's get into the game and hope we win. Hope we win. Hope we don't lose by more than one goal. Ideally, hope we don't lose at all. I'll take a draw. I'll take a boring 0-0 in this one just to get us to that Champions League final. I've not looked at the other side of the draw. That makes me a little bit nervous, to be honest. I've not looked at it quite deliberately. I want it to be a surprise after this game as to who we're going to be facing. I don't even know who the two teams are, so we might have looked at it last time and I might have forgotten. I genuinely can't remember, so it is what it is. Real Madrid have started on top as we assumed that they would have done. We have had a shot, though. We have had a bit of possession as well. We have got some momentum going behind us, but they are very much the team on top, as you would expect. they were a very difficult team to play against. And it was only when we took off Cole Palmer. We also did have to take Musiala off. He did start that game as a striker. When we took those guys off, that is when we started to really, like, be on the front foot in a way that actually meant that we were impacting the game. We had lots of possession, lots of shots. We just weren't doing anything with it. But when we took those guys off, we had a bit more of a cutting edge, which really helped us out. Oh, Solomon's been done by Bartoszagi there. And now Real Madrid have a chance to get it in the box. Mbappe looking to get it to someone. Gets it to Chivette nearer the halfway line. They're passing it around really nicely here. Could have been 1-0. Could have been 1-0 there. We need to wake up a little bit there. We had some nice little play, and then we just kind of gave them the ball. What I kind of wanted to do going into this game was just be a brick wall for them, just to stop them from breaking through. And I haven't done that. I've gone with the normal tactic. We are getting bodied, but a little bit. This is kind of what they experienced from us. The only difference is they got an early couple of goals. Obviously, we did equalise, and then they got their second goal. It's very similar at the moment to that game, and I'm not very much a fan of it. I am a fan of us having a throw in their half, though. Right. Ball to roll, back to Tokic, into Solomon. Solomon gives the ball away. Solomon not having a good one here today. We might have to think about taking him off. And now Real Madrid, from Sol's kind of second mistake we've seen Solomon, it's not great. It's the second time we've seen him give the ball away, and it's led to them directly having a chance, and they've scored. So I think we have to look at Solomon and say, you know, I'm gonna have a go at him. Because it's been coming. It's twice he's done that. So we now need to replace him. Marc Bernal would be the perfect option, but he's suspended, and that is a huge miss from this game. Now we're all level. It's not the end of the world. We're all level, but that's not great. And Sol is very much the reason that has happened. To be fair, the attacking players haven't appeared at all. Musiala, actually, he's done all right. He's the one I was a little bit concerned about. More of the same from him. Maybe we get a bit more magic into the game. We'll say that, and we'll say that to you, try and fire you up. Didn't really work. Now, I'm thinking, Sol apparently is one of the better midfielders. Sousa apparently had no impact on the game. I think we need to make a change. And I think there's a couple of things I'm thinking. Musiala, I'm debating moving him to the midfield because we know how effective he is there. He played most of the season there before we signed Sousa, and he did a good job. Sousa wasn't to replace him. The only reason Sousa's in the midfield is because of how good he is. So I'm going to put Solomon, I'll keep Solomon where he is. I'm going to put Musiala there, and I'm going to bring on, I'm taking a risk and bringing Cole Palmer on. I am taking a risk. We've got Fatty. We can bring him on for Pitchford if we need to, or if Cole Palmer has a stinker, we can always replace him. Tokic has not had a good game since coming back into the team for this one, so I'm actually going to bring on Schnitzer as well. I'm going to change him to a fullback on support, just to try and help him out. I'm also just going to have a look at the opposition and just see what's going on with these guys. So these are the ratings we need to worry about. Endrick's not had a good game. Mbappe has done. He's the guy who Sopsic, it wasn't Sopsic, it was Tokic. Tokic has been really, really struggling with. So I'm just thinking, do we don't really do this very often. I'm thinking, do we have him man mark Kylian Mbappe? I'm going hard on him. And we just try and take Mbappe out of the game, maybe. Worth trying, I think. It's worth trying. Say that to him. And Mamadashvili's happy again now, which is good. We'll fire the boys up. 1-0's fine. Let's try and get back into the game and get a goal and equalise. And then we're laughing. Right, here we go. Zabarnyi into Castello. Castello Lacaba into Musiala. Musiala over to Palmer. Palmer now running with the ball. Can he just have a good game? I mean, it's not a guarantee he's going to have a bad game, that attribute on his profile. It's not a guarantee of it, but it's an indicator. Right, ball into Cole Palmer. Oh, it's offside anyway. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I was dreaming then for a second. Cole Palmer, by the way, is playing as a deep line forward. I may change that. Daniel Pitchford, I tell you what. He has great runs, and then just something will knock him off his stride, and that's it. He's done. He's coming off. He's coming off. It's as simple as that. Pitchford's off. Ansu Fati's on. I'd put on Carlson if he was better, He's only 2-star. I'd be tempted to put him on because he's a proper striker. But at the moment, we're not playing with a proper striker, really. I'm also thinking of Bayetic. Now, that he was in that position by now when he got sent off. That's why I'm thinking of this change. I'm just thinking of that yellow card. Musiala, I'll take the risk on. I'll take the risk on it. Right. Demand a bit more. We've had a bit more play there. I would have liked to see us have a few more shots on target, but it's not happened here. Right, ball's whipped in. Not really cleared it that well. Mbappe heads it back in. Right, Fatty. Don't give the ball away. Just, he's running with it. He's running with it, Fatty. Right, really well done there on Fatty. He managed to hold the ball up long enough for the players to get back into position, which is great. Right, Cole Palmer into Musiala. Musiala chipped it forward to Ansu Fati. That's got to be offside. It's missed anyway. It was definitely offside. There it is. It's now been given. We have had some golden opportunities to get back level in this game. What can we do? What can we do? Direct is definitely the thing. So I'm just thinking early crosses. Let's just get these balls whipped in. Pop some whipped crosses on as well. Let's just keep going for it. Let's just keep going for it. Roll's really not had a good game. That has not worked. That has not worked. I just... that's it. That's it. It's over. They lead. They lead. Right. Now what do we do? Right. Carson on. It's the only change we can make. But it is a forward on the pitch. So Fatty, Carlson and Palmer as the strikers, with Solomon and Musiala as the support behind. We've fired the boys up. We haven't had a shot on target all game. We just need to go for this now. We just need to go for it. Win the ball, get the ball up. Right. Higher tempo, direct. We're not playing out of defence. We're just going to basically go long at this point. Let's just see what we can do going long. A bit more direct. No highlights. We're running out of time here. I think Champions League is done for this season. It is. Champions League's done. We're knocked out by Real Madrid. We didn't do enough in the first leg. That home leg, we needed to win that by a couple of goals. And that is what's cost us there. 2-0. We have had injuries as well. Alexeev has been a huge thing for us this season. A huge thing. I mean, Carlson, I thought he'd already played for us. He obviously hasn't played for us. What a time to make a debut, by the way. I didn't really think that through, did I? He's one of the youngsters who's got good potential, to be fair. That's the reason why I've called. He's actually been called up to the first team squad proper. Right, well, that's that. We're out of the Champions League. I mean, we still want to try and win the league this season, so we are going to do that. We are going to finish this episode on a high with a league win, hopefully, against Freiburg. We're at home as well, so hopefully that'll make life a little bit easier. We'll have Alexeev back as well. Decision made right now. We're not coming back for the DFB Pokal. We're just gonna forget about that as a competition. If we win it, we win it. Some of these guys are really struggling to learn German, which is a little bit frustrating. Right, well, yeah, we'll get to the game. We'll see what happens. I mean, I might as well just stay with you while we get to it, to be honest with you, because we're not that far away from it. Freiburg, it's the opportunity to win the league. If we don't win it in this one, if we lose this game as well, I might as well just quit. And then we'll go through to the Leverkusen game. But I think we'll be able to sew the title up in this one. Pretty sure that we will. And then we'll see what we're going to do, because I don't really want to finish the save without winning the Champions League again. We'll say that one to them. We'll pump the fists. We'll say that. Let's get to the end. Let's get to the game at this point. I'm not going to do any press conferences. My assistant's going to do it. I don't want any stinking press conferences. I'm not in the mood. Got knocked out of the Champions League. I'm not in the mood. Literally, the only reason I came here is because I wanted to win the Champions League. So annoying. Oh, man. We just didn't do enough in that first leg. Which, to be fair, that is on us. That is on me. That is on us. We don't have any misfortune. I mean, you kind of wonder, had we got Marc Bernal available, would that have made a difference? I don't think he's that quality of player. We'd have had him as a defensive midfielder. Mind you, we had that in the first leg and he got sent off. So what would have happened away from home? Could I have set the team up differently? Could I maybe have adjusted a couple of things to go a bit more defensive? Maybe. I don't know. Right, Alexeev is back. He will be back for this game. He's probably not going to play too much of a role. He's going to be on the bench with the fitness level. He's not going to start, but he will be involved in some way. Right, we are at the game. Alexeev will be on the bench as mentioned. Sopsic is also back as well. So straight away, we're going to make a few changes to the team that lost. You know, not that when I say that they lost, I mean, to be fair, centre-backs did a good job. Mamardashvili did not, and I'm actually going to have a word with him about that performance and just see what he thinks about it, because that was not a good performance. Okay. Well, I'm not going to fall out with him at this point. Daniel Pitchford, really not a good performance, so I'm hoping he kind of steps up in this game. Cole Palmer will come back into this game, although it's a big game. I trust him to make the difference. Musiala will go back to attacking midfield for this one. And obviously, we have got Mark Bernal who can come back in too. He's going to start for Bayetic, who didn't have the best of games. Solomon ended up not having a good game either. Right, do we take him out and put maybe... I mean, Roll had a shocking game. All things considered, very disappointed in Roll. I thought would have done a bit better. We'll bring Martel on. Didn't have a terrible game. Did what he could. How did Bayetic do compared to... Yeah, it was that racing. That's fine. Neil Sam could come on the bench as well. He's the youngster we bought at the beginning of the season from Leipzig. And to be fair, he's played a couple of times. He's looked pretty decent for us. Again, he's been called up to the first team. So very excited to see how he will get on. I think that's going to be the 11. Let me just do my opposition instructions. We'll ask the assistant first, and then get those sorted. Weak foot for David Washington is going to be left foot. I don't quite know why bothering that, because he's good with both feet, but never mind. That's the 11. Whether we win this or not is another matter at all. Let me just quickly change that so it's just to you. It is going to be Mamardashvili in goal, Sopsic, Zabani, Lekeba and Antov in defence. Martel, Bernal, Musiala and Palmer in the midfield with Pitchford and Fatty up front. There's part of me that really wants to put Alexeev up front. I'm not going to do that. That would be a ridiculous thing to do. I'm also tempted to start Solomon as well. Despite, do you know what? I'm going to do it. Let's just put our strongest 11 out there. Or strongest one that we can do at the moment. Actually, no, I'll keep the fullback swapped. For the time being. I will have Marko Tokic on the bench though, just in case Shatsy can go on the bench, out of the bench rather. I'm so rattled by the fact that we lost that semi-final. I genuinely thought we had a better chance at that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Right, let's see whether Cole Palmer, Daniel Pitchford can do better. Let's see whether the goalkeeper cannot have an absolute stinker. Fingers crossed. And we'll get Alexeev on the pitch as well and get him some minutes in. Maybe we'll give him the second half and just see whether we can get him to get a goal. That'd be lovely. That would be very lovely indeed. I was really hoping we could get to that Champions League final this season. I know I've said it on multiple times. I was really hoping that we could. But Real Madrid, top team. Absolutely superb team, in fact. It was always going to be difficult. It, as it turns out, was incredibly difficult, and you know we have to deal with that. Now, what I'm expecting to happen in this game is that I'm expecting us to go 1-0 down, because I have had a few games where I thought Cole Palmer was just going to do it then, to be honest with you. I've had a few games where we should be winning a game and we just come out of the blocks really slowly and sluggishly, and we just get battered. Freiburg in 12th. There's no excuses. We need to be bodying them. We're starting off well in terms of shots, but we need to be doing a little bit more in terms of getting these shots on target, lads. We really do. Loads of opportunities, though. Only the 2 on target so far. We can do better than that. I'm tempted to slow the pace down. Maybe. Let's not rush everything. Let's take our time. There's no rush here. It's a long game. And realistically as well, we've got a 5-point gap. The main thing we need to do here is not lose. But you know me, I want to win. I don't want to settle for a draw. Ansu Fati hears me talking about that, and he might be offside, so I won't get too excited at the moment. But I don't want to win the title with a draw. I want to win it with a win. Hands are up. It is a goal, and it is 1-0 to Bayern Munich. Lovely stuff. Musiala does well here, running down the line here. Now, if I do stay for one more season at Bayern, I might move back to wingers. I haven't fully decided that, but I might move back to wingers. Alexeev seems to have really settled in as a striker. But I don't know whether that's in a 2-striker system specifically, or whether he will be able to do that in a 1-striker system. We need to have a look at that. And then we need to decide where everyone plays in that system. And do we do a 4-3-3 with a holding midfielder, or a 4-2-3-1 like the opposition are using today? Do we do those? Do we do a 4-2-4? I highly doubt that, but we could do a 4-2-4. We've got to bear in mind players like Solomon and also Souza, the players that we've signed. We've signed them with this system in mind. With Souza, it's not too bad. He can play as an attacking midfielder. Officially, Solomon can only play as a central midfielder, so we'd need to do a bit of work as to whether he would be a defensive midfielder or an attacking midfielder. I think he's more likely going to be a defensive midfielder. He is more defensive minded. I think, although he's not listed down as a central midfielder, he can play defensive. He's only listed as a central midfielder. He can do defensive midfield and not have a terrible star rating. He has like 3.5 stars or 3 stars or something like that. So that's good. We've had so many opportunities, but again, we seem to have these spurts of goals, and then we struggle to put more than one goal in the back of the net. We're at home, we should be battering this lot. I mean, it's a nervy game now, to be fair. Fatty was under that, but the goalkeeper was always coming for it, and we were never going to really trouble them there. Right, ball forward. It's the edge of half-time. I'd like to think this means we're going to get something here from this highlight. Right, ball forward to Pitchford. Pitchford into Ansu Fati, and Ansu Fati has made it 2. There we go. Daniel Pitchford with the assist. I don't mind the fact he's not scored. He's been involved in a goal. That's my main kind of thing with Daniel Pitchford. As long as he's involved, I'm happy. And he's very involved there. It's weird. Out of the two of them, you'd have thought Fatty would be the one who would be doing the more creative side of things. And yet there is Daniel Pitchford with stats that don't really agree with it, doing exactly that. I'll take it. It's weird, but I'll take it. Fatty with 2 goals. Musiala and Pitchford with an assist each. And that is half-time. Good performance. Dropping the tempo down has definitely helped. Right, Sopsic on a yellow card, straight off. Tokic on. I mean, straight away, that defence is starting to look really, really good. We've got to bear in mind, though, with Zabani on the older side of things, and Lakeba as well. I think he's 31. Yes, he is. Do need to bear in mind, it is an ageing centre-back partnership. We do need to young that up, although we have got Neil Sam as well, so that does help do that. Do you know what? Sorry for the pause. The cat knocks Sunk over downstairs. Freaked me out a little bit because I'm home alone, which I'm normally not when I'm recording one of these. I just heard like a noise downstairs. I was like, what on earth is that? It was the cat being a nuisance. That's what it was. Right. Neil Sam was going to come on. I did accidentally put Antov out for him. We're not going to do that. I'm going to take off Zabania and put Sam in there. He's nervous, but he's going to have to get over it. I'm going to leave it at that. Do I bring Alex Eve on? I'm not going to bring Alex Eve on yet. I'm going to wait and see whether Pitchford can get a goal. So I'll give it until about 60 minutes. Then Alex Eve will come on for him. I will swap him and Fatty around. That's what we're going to do. So I'll bring on 2 substitutions. I'm going to say you. Go have some fun. Yeah, we've lifted the pressure. Faith in you on Tokic. Right. Let's go and get some more goals. As it stands, we're winning the title. That's the main thing in this video, is we want to make sure that the title is won. The Champions League would have been great. It was never really the plan to win the Champions League this season until we got closer to FM26 coming out, which has kind of made us think we need to hurry up on this a little bit. And then I had my little break because I got fed up of Football Manager 24, which, you know, I think is fair when the game's been out for a year longer than it's meant to have been. So it does change the plan a little bit. We need to decide what we're going to do for next season. Do we stay at Bayern Munich? I'm kind of jumping ahead here a little bit. Do we stay at Bayern Munich? Do we look for another club that may have a better chance? We would obviously... Daniel Pitchford. We need to obviously think about whether it's likely that a club will sack their manager this season. I think what we'll probably do is, it's all about just winning that second Champions League now, regardless of the club. So, what it's probably going to be about is staying at Bayern Munich unless a better offer comes along. Quite happy to stay at Bayern, but let's say Manchester City, who have loads of money, become available, or Newcastle, who have a decent amount of money, Cole Palmer, become available. Or like a club that has funds, that we could sink into just a one-season, one-shot rebuild to try and then win the Champions League one more time, so we've at least won it more than once and done better than the last time we did the MyCareer save, where we only won it the once with Southampton. That might be the plan. Obviously, this season, if we stay at Bayern Munich, we're building on what we've got. We've already built up a good amount of a team. We just want to add to it. So those are the kind of the two options, really. We are going to do one more season. I'm going to blitz through it as best as I can before FM26 comes out. We keep wanting to call it FM25. I've got trauma from the game that never was. Right, Alex Eves coming on for Pitchford. Pitchford's annoyed me. I'm also going to make the change of bringing on Souza. I'm going to bring him on for Musiala, who's had a good game in there. Definitely need to rethink how and where people play. I think we are going to do the winger thing next season. I've decided that if we stay at the club, and if we don't, personnel permitting, I'm going to play with wingers next season as well. Because I love a diamonds. It is a little bit limiting. It is a little bit limiting. And we tried the narrow 4-2-3-1. It didn't really work here as well as it did at Wolves. And even with Wolves, I think it was with the personnel that we had. And the second that we lost Darvic in that save, we really struggled. Right, whipped in. Palmer's there. Palmer gets another goal, makes it 4. And it's turning into a Bayern Munich party. A Bayern Munich title party. I mean, it's not like it's been a long wait. The only season that they've not won the Bundesliga in this save was last season. One season they've not won it since this save started. We're in the 2030s now. And I feel like I've restored glory to the club. It was one season where they finished second. You know, I think they can probably calm down a little bit on that, really, can't they? Antov with the assist. Cole Palmer now has 2. Fatty has 2 as well. Alex Eve is on as well. All things are right with the world. I am just going to make sure Alex Eve is playing in the right slot. He usually plays over on this side as an advanced forward. Let's make sure he's doing that. Let's just see whether we can get a goal from him today. That'd be lovely on his return from injury. Right, Solomon looking for Alex Eve. Alex Eve, he's gone for it, you know, and he's hit the crossbar. Finds Fatty after it comes off the woodwork, but he doesn't end up in the back of the net. We've had so many chances there. It's a lovely thing to see. We've also been a bit tackle happy. It's fine. I'm not worried about that, but, you know, if I can calm down a little bit. Right, my final change is going to probably be Solomon. I'm going to take him off. I'm going to leave Palmer and Fatty on for their hat-trick. I'm going to bring on Roll, I think. Or, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring on Carlson. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cascade people a little bit. So, Souza can go to there. Palmer can go to there. Fatty can go to there. And I'll tell you what. We'll make Souza an advanced playmaker on support. Because he prefers being an advanced playmaker a bit more than he does a deep line playmaker. Very much so, in fact. And then Fatty, we know, can do the attacking midfield job as well. I'll bring Carlson on. Carlson, I'm going to make a poacher. I think that's his preferred striking position. It is indeed. Let's just give that a go. First league appearance for him. In the final 10 minutes, we're 4-0 up. We're winning the title. Might as well bring another youngster on. Why the devil not? Why the devil not, indeed. Let's just see the game out. If Palmer or Fatty can get a goal, I'll be really happy. I'm quite content at 4-0, though. Corner to Freiburg. I'd rather us not concede a goal here. The clean sheet's very much dried up after Mamardashvili had his injury. Also, Tokic has picked up a knock as well. I'm not going to bother taking him off now. It doesn't matter. The second Mamardashvili had that little period where he was out injured. Since then, he's not been the same. So, you know, it is what it is. We're still 4-1. We're still champions. Who really cares? Genuinely. Who really cares? Here we go. Lakeba, who is he the club captain? I've forgotten who the club captain is. That's really bad. They're my club. I've been with them for a year. I should really know who the captain is. I know he's the captain for today because he just walked up to collect the trophy. But he must be the winner. But we are, again, for the bazillionth time, Bundesliga champions. And all things are right with the world in Germany. I found my Lego trophy, so I can hold the trophy up for once. Excellent. It's actually, I don't know if you can see this. You probably can't because of how small the camera is. It's one of the Tri-Wizard ones from the... I'm trying to remember to change this in the edit. It's not going to focus on it. It's one of the Tri-Wizard ones from the Lego minifigure line. Don't know if you can see that. Don't know why I want to show you that, but I did. There are other trophies available in Lego form, don't get me wrong, but that's the one that I've got. So, Bundesliga, completed it, mate. And that was the main aim for this season, remember. So, mission accomplished. Or mission complete. Don't know if anyone else played Star Fox 64 or Lilac Wars, but if you did the mission well, completed. If you did very well, accomplished. We did the mission completed today. I'll take that all day long. I'll leave it at that. We've said what we need to say. We've won the Bundesliga. Happy days. Now, of course, there is still one trophy to play for. I've apparently won 20 competitions in FM24. It's come up on the side here. I don't know whether you've seen that. How had I not already done that? And he had to think about international trophies and some such. I don't know. But there it is. Goal difference of plus 90, points of 90. Leipzig are now 8 points behind. They've still got 3 games to play. They're not catching. 3 games to play? No, 2 games to play. We've only got 1 more game. They've got 2 games to play. Sorry, my maths was shocking then. So even if they play and get 6 points, they're obviously 8 points behind. It's not going to happen for them. But that is season pretty much done. Again, I'm not too bothered about the... I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of league titles, isn't it? I'm not too bothered about the cup. I would normally be, but, you know, it's all about a sprint to the end now, really, isn't it? And again, the aim now has got to be finishing the season and getting on to the next one as quickly as possible, and then either carrying on with the work we want to do with this squad, or having a look and seeing what jobs are available. Now, if we have a look at the available jobs and just see, always does this, let me change it. So, jobs, manager, jobs, club, leave all the nations available. They're the jobs that are currently available. There's not a single big job there. Now, if we look at job security and just see if there's any that that we need to be looking at that. Arsenal, Graham Potter is very insecure. Could we go back to Arsenal? Would that be ridiculous? Would that be ridiculous? Out of all of the unstable managers, it's the biggest job that's there. They've got guaranteed money. Finances are okay, despite what I did. They've still got the majority of the squad that we had. Arusura is still there. They've added Levi Roast. Armstrong and Colwell are still there. Catanana still there. Paniagua, Harto. He's now moved to defensive midfield. Saka, Shawquist, Martinelli, Tell, Darvic. They've still got the core of the squad that we built. And Daniel Pitchford. So, do we go back for a one-season shot at Arsenal? It doesn't make sense because we've already won the Champions League there. But could we return and do it again? That could be quite a fun little... They say don't ever go back, but I might go back to Arsenal. I might go back. How is the Premier League looking? So Man United are basically winning the league at this point. It's more or less a done deal. Although Man City could go ahead of them if they're game in hand. And Wolves aren't too far away either. So, I mean, I don't know. 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. Technically, Wolves could still win it. Technically speaking, Wolves could still win it. But it's technically still a 3-horse race. It's really only a 2-horse race between United and City. I mean, maybe Spurs? I don't really want Spanish Spurs, if I'm honest. All the other big teams are doing okay. Liverpool, maybe, if that job comes up, I'd consider that. If we wait, this is going back to England, obviously. I mean, how are... Let's have a look. This is going to make the video a bit longer, but I'm just having a quick look. Real Madrid and Barcelona finished first and second. Maybe the Barcelona job comes up. It's very unlikely. So maybe that's not going to be one. Paris Saint-Germain. Let's have a look. Let me actually put the name in. Have a look. Paris Saint-Germain. They're first. That's not going to happen. I mean, I've not dominated it, but they're first. That's not going to happen. Where else can we look? Let's have a look in Italy. I don't necessarily think Italy are a strong enough league to do a one-season, one-shot on. Into a third, though, so I don't know. They're the holders, and they're not going to win the title from the looks of things. Juventus are. AC Milan, I mean, again, we're scraping the barrel there, really. In the nicest possible way, they're not what they once were. So I think, really, it's a return to either England's, or if we get lucky and a job comes up in Spain or in France, which they're not going to be good enough because the big clubs are doing well, as you'd expect them to. So what we might end up just doing is just staying here, and we'll just give it another go next season. But let's think about the idea of going back to Arsenal. That would be really poetic. We left for one season. They didn't have a good time. We didn't quite do what we wanted to do. We go back there and we just win everything one more time. And we become 2-time Champions League winners in 2 separate spells. In fact, bear with me 1 second. Okay. So what I was just looking at is Has any manager ever left the club after winning the Champions League and then come back and win it again? Carlo Ancelotti. He's ruined my plan. We'll have a think and see what happens. If the opportunity to go back to Arsenal comes up, I'll consider it. Because I think that Arsenal squad is stronger than this Bayern Munich squad at the moment. I mean, money-wise, again, we haven't got loads of money, but bear in mind, we have got... I mean, these are youngsters just to fill the squad out for the most part. There's a couple... No, actually, they're not. You know some of these guys. They're some of the youngsters that we signed earlier in the season. Obviously, if we stay here, that's the money we've got to work with. Bear in mind, though, there are players who are going to be leaving the club, and those players are going to be raising some funds from their wages. Cole Palmer is leaving the club. That's a lot of money. Eric Martel is probably going to be leaving the club. That's a lot of money. We're paying wages for these guys. That's, you know, on the wage budget, that's like $1 million there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, not quite $1 million, like 800,000. Musiala is obviously still here. Tadibo, we're going to try and get rid of. That's money from him, and we'll raise a bit there. I may look to move on Lukeba and Mamadashvili just to bring in someone younger, and then that's money from those guys. The top wage earner is Mark Bernal. I don't really want to lose him because he's also 26. He's a very good player, but I mean, if someone came in for him, I wouldn't say no just to get that wage off the books. So there's things we can do. There's things we can do to raise money. Still got one game in the league, by the way, so, you know, it's not completely over. There's things we can do to raise money to make staying here a more appealing prospects. But you're going to have to wait until the next video to see what the actual plan is. So, with that in mind, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, hit that like button. And why don't you subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss any of the nonsense that comes out of this face right here in the future. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.